It's 5 o'clock on Monday, which means it's time for the greatest, most amazing live program in the history of the Houston Congregation for Reformed Judaism. It's time for Live at 5 with a broadcast range of anywhere where there's the internet. And I am really, really lucky today because I put my coordinates in the Wayback Machine, and I went back and I found someone that that I thought could maybe answer a few questions for me. It's my pleasure to welcome someone who I don't know very well, but I look forward to getting to know during this time together for Live at 5. I would like to introduce all of my friends on the HCRJ Facebook to Bubba Leia. Bubba Leia, so nice to see you. How are you today?
Oh, Bill, it's been a tough day, but we'll talk. We'll talk about your name.
My name is Michael.
Oh, my Michael. Oh, I'm Valea.
I know, Bubba Leia. It's nice to see you. What can you sort of set the scene for us and tell me where are you right now?
Well, you'll have to use your imagination just a little bit. So, my Michael, I am Babalea and I am from the shtetl.
Oh,
Do you know what a shtetl is?
I don't. What's a
Well,
shtetl?
first you say shtetl.
Shtetl.
Very good. So a shtetl is a teeny tiny little village. It happens to be some days in Poland and some days in Russia, but my little shtetl is called Drombruvka, which
Drum whatka?
means Drombruvka, and
Brunka.
it
Okay.
means little oak. So that is my shtetl. Now let me tell you a little bit about my shtetl. My
Okay.
shtetl has 300 families that are not Jewish and 30 Jewish families in my little shtetl.
Wow, that is not a big shtetl.
Oh, no, 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 no. I will tell you more, but I want you to know that I'm really from the year about 1878, maybe.
Huh, 18.
I don't know so good the dates, but I teach you a little about the history of the Jewish people. Many come from tiny little shtetls, their families. So I want to tell you about mine.
Well, thank you. Looking forward to hearing about your family. I know nothing about them, to be perfectly honest. Um, so, before I ask this next question, I want to invite our HCRJ friends that are joining us for our conversation here,
Oh,
just to say hi in the comments, and then
so
we can.
nice.
It's nice, right? So, Bubble,
So
I
nice.
know this is a very personal question, but I'm wondering if you would be willing to share how old you are and maybe how many kids you have, etc.
Oh, my Michael, I'm a very old lady. I think I'm 45, maybe it's 47, maybe it's 42, but I have many children. I have 10 children.
10
They're like
children.
stepping stones. Like every year another baby came. I have I have 5 boys and 5 girls, and I'm married to Moish.
Moish. Okay,
Moish.
what is Moish's job? What does he do for work?
Well, Job, not so sure about Moish. He's a chacham. He's a wise man. He
Oh,
studies and he davens
what's
and he
Davin?
learns the holy books. Oi.
Oh, oi.
And me, I, I take care. I
You
take
take
care of
care.
things.
Well, how do you have money to buy food for your family?
Ah, well, I told you I'm tired, good Babalaya. I've worked very hard. So I didn't tell you about my house. My house
Oh,
has about 3 rooms, and we have a dirt floor. And oi, you know the bathroom. You know what goes on in the bathroom.
I
That's
do.
outside.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so
Okay.
you
So
understand.
okay. So I
So
understand that.
Babalaya. Well, one of the things I do, I sew, I make quilts, and I
Oh.
sell them in the marketplace, which is every Monday and Thursday in the shtetl. I'm also a wonderful cook, and one of the things that I do is I make rolls and we send the kinder. Do you know what kinder is? Kinder is
Uh,
my children. I send them to the train station, and then the train comes through. The people are hungry. They buy Baba Lea's rolls, and they think delicious. I also grow my own vegetables, and I make borscht out of my beets, and I make schwab out of my cabbage. And oi, I work very hard.
you do.
Get by.
It sounds like you work really hard. Well, Moish, all he does is read the holy books, huh?
That's not all. That's very important work for a man. Very important. My husband, very, very learned.
Okay, so people are on our HCRJ Facebook are asking if I've transported us back into the Wayback Machine, and you said Bubba Leah, you think you're 1878, is that right?
Yeah, something like this. I'm not so
Okay.
sure on my dates and whatever.
Yeah, but
Yes,
it's
we
a
go
Schnippler.
way back to the shtetl, way
Okay.
back.
So you Moish is studying the holy books. You're quilting and making food and tending the garden, cleaning the house. What are your you said you had five boy children and five girl children. What are the 10 kids doing? What are the
Oh,
boys doing? What are the
such a
girls doing?
blessing, mein Kinder. Well, the boys, they start the cheder. Do you know that cheder? That's the school. They start school when
Oh,
they're 3 years old, and they get the holy book and the Hebrew letters, and they lick a little honey off the page so that their learning might always be sweet. So mine boys, they go to cheder, and mine girls, oh, they stay with Baba Leah and they help me. They
oh.
learn to cook, they learn to sew, they help take care of the babies. Oh, my girls, my Rachela and Sarah and Rivka and Shlomi. Oh, mine girls, they're such beautiful. And mine boys, oh, they're so smart. Very proud of mine family.
Good. So you said cheder, which is school, which to me sounds a lot like seder, which is I'm guessing maybe this is something that you're familiar with, a Passover seder. Do you celebrate
Oh,
Jewish
my
holidays?
Michael, my whole life revolves around the Jewish calendar. The most important holiday of the is every week. Have you heard of Shabbos?
I have, yes.
Okay, well, Shabbos is the most important day of the week. And after I tell you about Shabbos, but we have the Rosh Hashanah, we have the Yom Kippur, we have Pesach, we have the holidays, and it is something that we all celebrate together. It is so important. It is our life. It revolves around the holidays and around the shul. Do you know what a shul is, Michael?
A shul is like a school without the C.
I don't know from where you come, but no, the shul is I think maybe you call it the Beit Knesset, or you call it the synagogue, or you call
Oh,
it,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure, sure.
oh,
The temple, the synagogue. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
eh, our life revolves around the holidays and around the shul.
Okay. Very nice. So, you mentioned that you live in a small town called the Shtetl, 300 non-Jews there, 300 Jewish families there. Does any of your
300, wait, what you saying?
uh,
30 Jewish families.
oh,
Just 30.
oh, pardon me, Bubble. I'm so sorry. Now, do any of your family live there? Do you have any brothers or sisters that live in the Shtetl?
Well, I have two sisters I would tell you about. Maybe not today, but maybe another time, because
Oh,
you
okay.
know what? They leave the shtetl similar to when I will leave the shtetl, which I tell you about very definitely at another time if you invite me back
Well, I
to
would
tell
love to
my
invite you back. You're
stories.
thinking of leaving the Shtetl?
Well, Michael, I don't know how to tell you that that would not be difficult, but things got very hard in the shtetl. Our neighbors, our non-Jewish neighbors, who we always get along with so well, and they lead their lives and we lead our Jewish little lives, but things got bad,
Ooh.
and you know what? They got so bad that at some point we think, you know what? We may have to leave. And I get a letter. I get a letter from a neighbor who left to go to America. And
Wow.
I read this letter. By the way, Babalea can read Polish. Uh-huh. Babalea can do math. Uh-huh. And we live very well. And I read the letter, and do you know, you're not going to believe this, my Michael, but she tells me that the streets in America are paved with gold. And I go, oy vavoy, gold on the streets. Maybe Moshe and Babalea and Rachel and Sarah and Menachem and Mendel and all the kinder, maybe we need to go to America one day. So
Well-
we'll talk about that. If you are interested, I'll tell you about coming to America.
I think it would
But
be great.
another day.
Another day, because I only have about another like 10 to another like 2 minutes left on the way back machine before our connection gets interrupted. But Babalea, it's time here in where we are, which is Houston, Texas. It's time for me to make dinner for
Texas?
my kinder. Oh yeah, I'm in Texas,
Ooh.
believe it or not. Yeah,
Ooh.
hot. It's hot here. So I have to make dinner for mine kinder. You know what kinder is?
And what the name of your kinder? Is it Moish or is it Sarah or
It's
Nicola?
no, it's Zachary, Eliza, and Aviva. I'm sure they would like to meet you at some point.
Well,
Yeah.
I would love to meet them one day too.
I'm sure that we can
Okay.
maybe arrange that. I don't know. But we're having meatballs for dinner. You ever have a meatball?
Well, I know matzo balls. Well, I know gefilte fish balls. But what is a meatball?
Oh, Babalea.
Okay.
Once you come to America, we're gonna set you right and get you some meatballs. So I'll say the blessing for washing our hands before we make our food, and then would you be so kind
We
as
always
to
wash our hands before we eat.
have to.
We say a prayer.
And then will you say the blessing over the bread, the motzi? Do you know that one?
Baba Milea makes wonderful challah.
I bet. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu, b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, al netilat yadayim. Wash your hands. Babalea, take it away.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, chamoitzi lachem min ha'oretz.
Oh, Babalea, it was so lovely to see you and get to know you. Thank you for hopping in to for you, it would be the forward machine. For me, is the way back machine. I'm glad we met in the middle. So nice to see you. I should say to all of our HCRJ friends, stay tuned. We have Coffee House tomorrow, which is Tuesday with Rabbi Gross. Wednesday, we'll be back for Live at 5. Friday, Shabbat Shigaon and sharing Shabbat and welcoming Shabbat. The fun never ends. So much virtual programming. Tell me if this makes sense to you. Go to hcrj.org/virtual programming to find all of our virtual offerings. What do you think of that, Babalea?
Well, I don't understand a word you say.
All right. Thank you, Babalea.
Bye-bye.